No getting around this. No sugarcoating this. No spin here. Watching that game last night here in SoCal, watching the Rams and what happened to them, that was a straight catastrophe for the Rams in prime time last night. Like, whatever you want to say about them and the Rams' act last night, it would be fair. There is no such thing as an overreaction to what I saw last night. That was a straight disaster all the way around for the Rams. I mean, seriously, the hell happened to this team? The hell happened to this team? They go all in, they gamble virtually everything they have, and they crapped out big time again. Back-to-back hospital jobs. You know, we are talking about a team that made that big move for Matthew Stafford. Then that big move for Von Miller. Then they brought in ODB. We've been talking about this for weeks. We've been talking about this for months. All bleeping in. Like, one thing to lose to the Tennessee Titans. Like, that'll happen.
Happens to us all.
The Titans are a pretty good team, right? I'm not really sure how they keep doing it, but they keep doing it. So that'll happen. They're a pretty good team. And they did bully the Rams in their own house. But you can let that slide. Like, no NFL team, no matter how good they are, is going to win every single week. Everybody gets punched in the face at some point during the season. That'll happen. That said, however, to get punked by the Titans without Derrick Henry on Sunday, and then show up last night and get worked by the 49ers, yeah, that's not one of those things that will happen. In fact, that can't happen. You cannot have back-to-back dumps in your pants. You don't want that back-to-back. You can't have that. Not in prime time. Not if you want to be considered Super Bowl contenders. Again, I've spent the last several weeks telling anybody and everybody from this desk, from the NFL Today studios in New York City, that the Rams are going all in. They're the ultimate LA team, making enormous moves and looking to win right here, right now, and right in their own house. And then they do that? I guess what I'm getting at is this. It's one thing to make yourselves look bad, but now you've made me look bad. This team is too good. This team is too talented. This team is too well coached. This team is too professional. This team is too dialed to do that. Or at least I thought so. But then they went and they did that last night. Whatever the hell that was. And yes, Frisco. Yes, Frisco. I will get around to giving the Niners credit when I'm done talking about the Rams and whatever the hell happened to them. It's not just that they lost. It's how they lost. And it's not just that they lost to a 49ers team that had not won at home in more than a year. It's that they got absolutely rocked and humiliated by them. Like, San Francisco did whatever the hell they wanted, and LA had no response, no resistance. They had nothing. They were eating punches and demanding more. LA had the ball to start the game. Great. Get into a rhythm. Maybe get ODELL a few touches. Get the offense the hell out of the garage. Maybe open that thing up. I mean, one thing to want to get the ball to ODELL early, but forcing it down the field like that in a double coverage on a ball that was 5 yards past him, I mean, for who? For what? Isn't that the very definition of the ODELL dilemma? That you think at best he will lose interest, and at worst, he'll just shut it down altogether if he doesn't get the ball. So, in order to avoid all of that, you force it to him with disastrous results. I mean, right out of the box, when this dude's had almost no time at all to get on the same page with his quarterback, you take that shot. And of course, San Francisco cashed that in. Not only cashed it in, but again, the manner in which they did so, they go on a soul-snatching 18-play drive that swallowed up 11 minutes. And again, the Rams couldn't do a damn thing to stop it. They couldn't get off the field against a team that had not won at home this year. So you think to yourself, all right, not good. Below not good. Only one drive, but again, a long-ass soul-snatching drive where they get punched in the face all the way down the field, can't make a play, can't get off the field, but it's still just 7-0, right? The Rams can bounce right back. No, they can't, because a few minutes later, woo, wow, somebody pulled Jimmy Ward off the Rams because he was killing them last night. All right. So let me take a moment and say something about the 49ers. Nothing but respect for the 49ers for how they showed up last night. They had just been thrashed by the Cardinals the week before. A Cardinals team that didn't have Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green. They lost Chase Edmonds in the first quarter. That was the team that Frisco lost to last week. Nobody would have blamed them if they no-showed again last night. Hell, I'll admit it. I will admit it, I pretty much expected them to not show up last night. The way this season has gone, it's not the way anybody expected it to go for San Francisco. It would not have been surprising to me if they shut it down and they went 1-2-3 Cancun. But they didn't. They showed up last night and they broke LA's face. The old 49ers were in the building last night. The guys we expected all season long, shattering the Rams' glass jaw. Man, they ran that ball right down LA's throat, and their defensive line dominated LA's offensive line. So that's not going to make those questions go away about whether or not the Rams are tough enough up front. Remember yesterday, we had this conversation, Jim Trotter and I? Jim Trotter had made that point, especially after that loss to the Titans, whether or not they were physical enough up front. And then they got out-physicaled the entire game yesterday. But it wasn't just the physical mistakes either, right? They were making mental errors left and right. The Rams were dropping passes, a bunch of them on third down, dumb penalties, bad timing, and inability to block and tackle like it was all on display. Again, who the hell were these guys? Totally unrecognizable. Anything that could go wrong, the Rams made sure that it did go wrong. They look like Jacksonville out there. I love coaches being aggressive. I love them going for it on fourth down. But there's nothing to like about that call. Kendall Blanton was short of the sticks no matter what. And then there's that issue of taking the ball out of your franchise quarterback's hands and putting it into your punter's hands for a huge play like that. Then again, was that even the franchise quarterback? Because it looked like Jared Goff had jumped into a Stafford gamer and somehow snuck onto the field. Hell, I didn't like anything at all last night from the Rams. It felt like a preseason game, not a regular season game in mid-November involving an alleged Super Bowl contender. Man, they were off. And they better find a way to turn it back on quickly if they're going to be who everybody thought they were. You can't go out and make moves like the ones they made for Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., and then show up like that. So where does that leave them? Where does that leave the Rams? That's actually the wrong question. A better question would be, where does that leave me? Like, I hate to personalize this, but let's make it about me for a minute. I'm not looking to make it about me, but let's make it about me. I don't have an issue with you making yourselves look bad, but I do have an issue with you making me look bad. Pull your heads out, use that bye to get right, then come back out and prove me and the rest of the world right. You owe it to yourselves, and most of all, you owe it to me. You owe it to both of us, but mostly you owe it to me, because that was embarrassing and humiliating to both of us, but mostly me, because I'm the one who's been banging that drum so hard. Yeah, I know you were missing Robert Woods, except Woods was not going to stop the run. 44 carries. The Niners offense would have even impressed Herb and his 250 goal. And how about DEEBO and his playmaker chain? Man, you got to get that guy off the Rams too. He always kills them. Always. Who's DEEBO Samuel? Not a good take. Not a good question. Is there a worse nightmare for SoFi if the Rams and the Chargers somehow both miss the postseason altogether? The hell are they going to do with that place until the Super Bowl? Never mind that the home tenants are not going to host, as was the plan. What will they do with that $5 billion building if both those teams miss? Like swap meets? Yo, this isn't Fontana. This isn't Santa Fe Springs. You can't go all swap meet with that place. You can't go all drive-in movie theater with that place. What, the fanciest flea market ever? The hell happened to these guys? Yeah, once it'll happen. You're going to get punched in the face at some point during the season. But back-to-back dumping the pants? I mean, I'm getting on a plane and going 3,000 miles to hype you, and then that in prime time? And now I've got to deal with, hey, Rome, how about your Rams? Not my Rams, but a team that I do believe in. You got your bye week, man. Use it. Get right. Because that was all wrong.